But Dr. Stan, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I know that many of you are aware that our university has been very daring in many innovations. We have direct experience in some of these. Some of the innovations that have been adopted, for example, basic now is CSR as a course. We introduced it first, but now it was adopted by CHED as a mandated course. We started entrepreneurship and requirement that says we cannot graduate without a business. We continue with that. And then at the moment we are at the forefront of GRI, pushing companies to move to transparency. But anyway, with all of this experience and the learnings that we have and deeper thought, the challenges that we experience in pursuing the goals of sustainability, we discovered that as an education institution, we need to go back to something more basic. We forgot, as you have said, Wayne, integrative thinking, multidisciplinary thinking, creativity, and we realized it begins in 2 or 3 areas, which we believe is very, very important. We need to study that and its impact on how we think today and how our youth. One is, what are we teaching the youth or the children? For example, there has been an abandonment, for example, of many important things that make an individual ask the question, who am I? And what is my relationship to the others? It can only be taught in a situation where there is liberal education thinking. And many schools have abandoned that. I have to admit that the school where I came from, UP, for example, is very strong in liberal education in the past. And has abandoned it, and so many other schools. And then secondly, looking deeper at the students, of course, we follow that spirit. And we look deeper. And of course, the executives we deal with and how their mindset and their thought processes, and even this thought of radicalism, we realize it boils down also on how that person came out or in the family. Think institution, the family as an institution. So it's also evolving. If that thing is evolving, educational institution is evolving, perhaps maybe we're intervening too late. Maybe the seed bed in which we can plant the seeds of patriotism, for example, is too late. Because from the very beginning, they never really experienced, they never felt, for example, love in family. So we have many cases because our institution is really noted for being really serious about that. And we see that no amount of learning, for example, is taught when they see something contrary in their families. They see something contrary in the governance of companies and in public institutions. So, one thing I realized as an educator is that we've got to go back again to the basics of questioning of who we really are as persons.
Inside the arrow said that
Got to go back to that because I know we have some leadership programs, we have implemented it, only to discover, gosh, the mindset is different. No amount of convincing, it's just that they're doing it just because I need to survive my business. I need to be relevant to society. But there should be something deeper than that. And of course, we're looking at models of leadership at the moment. And some models of leadership needs to be refined, rectified. Sometimes it's just more on I need to be profitable, I need to leave a legacy. More than that, I think. More than that, one has to go back. Sorry, of course, we're very technical. We've got to go back to, as you have said, there's no value to human person. There's no money. It's a thing so to be paid. Because the dignity of a human person is infinite. If everyone will know what it exactly means, that person in a family, for example, or in an institution, then it changes. Then the seedbed becomes very fertile. then we can start this talk about our sustainability because this is really for others. And this is absolute preparation for those who will come in the future. And it requires a unique kind of disposition, a seedbed, in which we can plant these ideas. Because if the seedbed is bad, the tree that will grow may not be the one that we expect. There's no soil. Anyway, that's the deep reflection we got after this long experience as an educator, as a parent, as people of this country.
You know what was to be established first? It's goodwill. I mean, if there's that kind of environment between the young people and the corporate world, everything will be easy. I mean, I don't think there's a goodwill right now.
As an observation, I don't know if it's an advantage. The traditional way here is that each conglomerate or each group of companies set up their own foundation where the CSRs are influenced by the favorite popular, the favorite material. So the business people or the boardroom public business is totally disassociated with the CSR or only in some people. But there is a separate group that handles the CSR for 10 times. I don't know if that is an advantage or a disadvantage. That's why most graduates are totally focused on business and not on the CSR because there's a different group or a different set of people that handles that particular side. So I don't know if that is an advantage or a disadvantage.
I think it's why we're failing, right? Because it's not integrated. It's not integrated. And so long as CSR sits on the side, in a foundation or in a separate course or even in a department, we will fail because then it'll be seen like you've got your main business focus here, focusing on the financial numbers, and then you do a little bit of good here. And we've seen that fail over the last 50 years, because yes, you do a little bit of good through charity, but you're not using your core business to make the transformation. That's really, unless we change that, we always fail. There's two bits of interesting research I wanted to share with you about this. The one is to do with young people, so they did some research and they found that there's this phenomenon of young people dropping out of big corporates. So the big corporates are not getting the best talent anymore because the young people are not feeling deeply satisfied. They're saying, where's the sense of purpose in working for a big corporate? They don't get excited about growing sales or increasing market share. They want a deeper reward. And, that's a kind of a purpose-inspired environment. If they can work for a company that they really believe is making a difference in society through their core business, not through some charity, then it changes. The other one is this generation gap that Indira was referring to. Some other research that came out of Cranfield University showed that if you compare current and future leaders, so the incumbents, maybe represented more by people at this table, and the future generations, by the 50-year-olds at this table, and the future leaders are slightly younger, mid-career, what they find is absolute consensus. Both generations believe that business has a social purpose in addition to economics. So this idea that we have to convince CEOs that they have to be making a positive social impact is not true. The difference is that current leaders, 9 out of 10 current leaders, think they're already delivering that social purpose. And only 2 out of 10 future leaders believe that business is currently delivering. So there's this massive expectations gap. The current board members and so on think they're doing a great job. And actually the younger people think they're doing a terrible job. And that's why, this trust in business is so low. It's because, again, if you're caught in that ideology of short-term shareholder maximization, capitalism, that model of capitalism, you're not going to convince young people that there's a heart to business or a soul to business. really challenging the fundamentals of the belief system that we have in business, the ideology. That has to be there as well.
In the model you've been discussing, we have not talked about the professions. Right? The professions, especially those who need to take exams, like lawyers, CPAs, like that. What is their role in all of this? In the research you've seen or what you do? Because if you're teaching this new course or whatever, and you talk about history, are the professions significant in that equation?
Well, professions tend to be the ones that people come to for expertise, don't they? And for the controls and the checking and the auditing. So I see it in a number of professions it is being integrated. If you look at the accounting profession, there's more and more about integrated reporting, about environmental liabilities, all of these things. If you look at engineering, I mean, at Cambridge University it's not called engineering, the department is called sustainable engineering. Same with architecture. So actually these are being integrated into each of the subjects. What's missing still is the cross-disciplinarity. So as soon as you've got a profession, then you isolate it and you don't talk to the other professions. So I think that's the gap.
What do you think, Luca? Do you agree with that?
Well, in larger areas, well, if you mention accounting terms and all these sorts of things, you really have CSR design or reporting or writing the report at station. We're aligned there. What I'm thinking actually, even when I've been hearing the discussions here, is the youth, you know, because, well, we're all like in 50s here. You're happy with that, right, Tony?
Very happy with that.
And we'll go soon. Like, one by one we go, but if we are able to prepare our youth, and those youth will prepare the batches below them, and it will become a continuous process, then I think somehow we're able to sustain CSR in this country or even in other countries. So this is why I'm finding now the value of this, because I'm part of the CSR Youth Awards of PCYF Foundation, in which we encourage youth, you know, to engage in CSR activities. Imagine, they're so creative, innovative. Like the award winners last year, they were engaging children or younger people, saving them from trauma because they came from the war-torn areas. So just imagine, you know, if we have more of this, we are able to address the societal issues of that particular area. Of course, there are other issues in other areas, and therefore, if we have more of this in different areas, then I think we're better off.
Just so you know, last year, our student awardee, when he reached high school, his father was a soldier, disappeared. Up to now, they have not found him. And instead of being in grief, he ended up creating what is now one of the biggest groups involved in helping kids in war-torn areas in the Philippines. It's called I Am Mad. I Am Making a Difference Foundation. Young kid won our student award while he was in school. He is in 22 places around the Philippines, all major conflict areas. Our other awardee created what is now considered the Philippines' largest program for dropouts to recover from their problems in grade school and high school and end up in college. He was our finalist the first year. We told him your model needs to be changed. He followed our advice. Now he is a viable field. He's in 28 places around the Philippines and is the single largest source of help to the Department of Education. And now he's getting poor people to pay for that service. And that's a big program. We support it. We expect to be in all provinces in the Philippines by next year. We expect to be in all conflict areas maybe in the next 2 years with other groups. These are the kind of groups we're helping. The awardee we have and one finalist for another award in Mindanao using coffee and farming is now the biggest program helping Muslim rebels who want to turn peaceful. We are in every single province in Mindanao where there's a conflict. And we've been supporting them, Pricewaterhouse as partners, visiting them regularly out there in the boondocks, bringing their young 20-year-olds who are not yet even supervisors or managers and exposing them. 2 weeks ago, during the 95th anniversary of Pricewaterhouse in the Philippines, their main announcement was their program with DCYM, which is to try and see how an institution, venerable 95 years of the Philippines, like Pricewaterhouse, can integrate all of these programs related to social enterprise, etc. And we're so happy. Now they have a program recognizing all of the unknown tourist spots. They have a program that gets people to take pictures of what's happening in their locality. On happiness is everywhere, and so on and so forth. You'd be surprised. 90% of his presentation had nothing to do with the accounting profession. It had everything to do with our concept of social development. That was the Pricewaterhouse 95th anniversary. They were so nice. They gave us prominence and so on.
Yeah, so in this sense, I think you can create like an happiness economics audit.
Yeah, but what he's doing, he's now talking
by
to...
Pricewaterhouse, right?
Yes, but they're not talking to every single Pricewaterhouse client and asking them to be involved.
Yes.
One is called the GEMS
That's right.
program. And
That's right.
so I think things like that, and you know, we've been doing that for many years. We just don't publicize it.
But maybe you should publicize.
That's,
I think
that's why I'm waiting for Benji, because that's not really. I'm an accountant.
Tony,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah, yes.
You mentioned many exceptional people.
Yes. Yes.
What makes them exceptional? Why are they what they are? I mean, have you been able to create a common thread
We have
of
those
what makes them think?
That's a good question. We have those conversations during the award ceremonies. I mean, our judging process. And it seems that, like most of us will conclude, there are a few things that are clear. One is chance is a big thing. Chance to have met certain people, to have been exposed to certain things, etc. The second one is something happened with their education. There was a teacher or some classmate or organization who persuaded them that maybe volunteering was good and so on. That kind, of course, is hard to imagine, but these are unusual people. They take their problems, their opportunities, and they somehow focus it on something positive.
Yeah, listening to the disconnect between, you call the millennials and corporate.
These are all, the ones I'm
Okay,
talking about are all Z
yes,
and
but
millennials.
now, you know, because you're trying to reconcile, millennials feel, the young ones feel that corporate is not doing enough, right? But corporate feels that they're doing everything. But why do people give? But basically it's because of gratitude. Because I guess people are driven to be what do you call that, generous. People are generally doing things, but yet I guess that level of gratitude is not yet enough. Not yet enough. That generosity is large enough.
I think it's that the model has changed. That a few generations, or even one generation ago, the way that you responded to societal problems was to be generous. So you weren't questioned on how you made your money so long as you were generous with giving it away, whether as a private rich leader or as a company. And so we got the Bill Gates of the world, or even going back to Rockefeller.
Oh, you're talking about the rubber barons. That's a little different.
We could debate that, but and I think that just isn't credible anymore with young people. Young people, what they see is a company often making its money in an unethical way, or in a way that, let's just say, has a big negative impact on the environment or on society. Maybe they're using, cheap labor, or they, have massive carbon emissions, or something like contributing to climate change, and they just are not convinced that a bit of generosity by that company makes up for the negative impact. And that's why we're saying, it's got to be integrated. It's got to be, is the company using its products, its services, its core business to be a positive force for change in society? And only then are those young people convinced and they want to work there. A company like Unilever under Paul Polman, set up their sustainable living plan, this was not their sustainability strategy, this was their business strategy, the only one they have, which is to double in size, halve their environmental footprint, help 1 billion people out of poverty, and go 100% certified for all their agricultural products as sustainable. As a result, every year they get 1.8 million people applying to work for that company. The young people want to work there because they feel proud about a company that's using its business to create a positive difference. That's very different to a company that has a foundation that is charitable.